We have a huge value here at Rainbow for actually providing the support and service. So for all of you who are new to us, who haven't worked with us yet, our hope is that you will get to know all of us on the team because we try to stay very available. So I am Naomi Brown, Agency Success Manager here at Rainbow. So I get the pleasure of meeting with our agents, doing these trainings. We're happy to actually do these webinars for your agency if you have multiple producers and want to have a more interactive kind of agency training and in-depth underwriting and appetite kind of overview. So I get to do that every day. We love it, you guys. We believe at Rainbow that you can't take human out of insurance. So again, that's really what we pride ourselves on, from our underwriting to the service side. We're here to support you. So I get the benefit of getting to know all of our agents and hopefully providing that support to just make your lives better, and your experience with Rainbow a fantastic one. So I'm going to kick off our webinar here, go through our platform, which you're also going to love. Because let's be honest, if we had a platform that was impossible to use, that doesn't make it fun for anyone. So there you go. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Give me just a second. All right, can everybody see my screen? Good, yeah. Awesome. Okay, so for everyone who's new, I'm going to give just kind of a high-level overview of who is Rainbow. Who are we? We are an MGA. So we get to have the benefit of operating fully like a carrier does from A to Z, in that you, the agent, and your clients will just be dealing with us directly. So you really don't know anything in terms of working with our writing partner. We do that all internally. But the benefit is that you get to work with us and us exclusively. So we have in-house underwriting authority. We're structured like an MGA. So essentially we write on Accelerant National's paper. They're an AM Best, A- excellent rated carrier. So we are very proud to be partnered with Accelerant. They're an incredible carrier. We have an awesome relationship with them. And they've just been such a great partner to us. So that's who our partnership is for our product here that we're going to go over. And guys, throw your questions in the chats, interrupt me, all the things. If you have some questions, I will be covering a lot of the appetite and things like that throughout the quoting process. So some of those questions might get answered, but please interrupt if you have any specific questions. So right now, what you're looking at is our back office. So once you bind a couple policies with us, you'll be able to see this whenever you log in, and this is what it's going to look like here. So this one I'm going to go into right here, Jason Johnson Insurance. Just kidding. This one is our Jason Johnson. We're going to say my Jason and the other Jason. I don't know how we're going to do that. So anyways, Bravo Italian Kitchen, you guys. This is actually a fun fact. This is where Jason went with his wife on their first date when they got married. So very cute little tidbit for you there. Super simple, you guys, very straightforward. Policy documents are here. This is where the policy will be uploaded so that you can get that out to your client. We also have a portal for your clients, so that's pretty nice. It's going to look almost identical to what you're seeing here with the exception of the requesting endorsements, but they can actually jump in here, log in, see their policy limits, download that document. Whenever you bind that policy with us, that account gets automatically created. So whatever email you enter on the application for their contact is going to be what we create that account with. Down here in the bottom right, you can see our payment schedule. So this one was paid in full. If you have a monthly payment plan, you'll get to see each of those payments scheduled out there. The other thing that you'll see here in this blue box in the bottom right, if you have a payment that failed, or the client had fraud on their card, which obviously happens sometimes, and so that payment didn't go through, you're going to see a pay now button pop up here in this field, and they can actually go in and process that themselves, or you can do it for them and update that card information. Other than that, if they need to just update the card information, you can chat in and get one of us so that we can help you update that. It just takes us a few minutes and we can update it. And we also have an ACH option. So if somebody needs to change H to ACH, we can also help you do that. So be sure to reach out to us if you have any questions on that. So when you're going to request an endorsement, you just go to this link here. Guys, super simple, very straightforward. This endorsement description box, please fill it out. more information is always better. So when Mickey's processing those endorsements and doesn't have all of the information that's requested for the additional insured, or say you're looking to change some coverage, you can enter as much information there as you can. And then there's also a place down here at the very bottom where you can upload a document. So for a cancellation, for instance, you can upload that document there. We will require a signed cancellation form. All of these are very straightforward to update or add managers or lessors of premises, mortgagee. You guys all know this stuff, super simple. So that goes to the service team and we get that back to you as quickly as we can. We use a third-party claims processor. We use Reserve for our claims processing. So if you need to give a first notice of loss, you'll be able to do that from your portal right here by doing the file a claim button here, and you can report that. Please communicate with us if you're having any trouble with it. We love having Reserve as a partner, but again, we always want to hear feedback from agents as well. But if you have questions, you're going to go directly to Reserve on all that. So now I'm going to go over to the quoting page here. A few different dispositions to note. We have a bindable quote here, which obviously means you are good to go. Green light. Anything that's in draft simply means that we just need more information, that application needs to be completed. Action required, refer now. I always like to just hit on this. If it says refer now, that means it's not referred. Okay, so very important. Our application does not automatically refer when it requires a referral. So we give you the opportunity to make sure you have all the information in there entered correctly and all the data that you need to collect from your client. So make sure you do hit refer on that last page, and I will show you that as well. But other than that, guys, declined, super simple. You guys know what that means. Side note on declined, if the system auto declines something, we'll talk a little bit more about this in the application, but if you believe that it's a risk that we really want, something that we would want to reconsider, you can reach out to us. If it's something that we can get done, we're going to do it. We're going to do everything we can to get that approved for you if it's within our power. So I have all this pre-filled because I know as fun as it would be for me to take all of everyone's time today, we try to keep it streamlined here for y'all. We don't need to teach you how to do data entry, right? So very first page is your underwriting information. Guys, if you have any questions on these classifications, please feel free to reach out to us. But I do like how we have this set up very linear, very straightforward. We can do anything from those quick service, bakery, coffee shops. We have some smoothie shops on the books, all the way to fine dining restaurants. And we're also considering brew pubs right now. What we do not do is bars and taverns. So I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. So we're not a fit for bars and taverns. We can do some wine bars if they're serving food, but only if they're serving food. And then we don't do mobile food vendors. So you might be thinking, well, why is it on there if you don't do it? Because hopefully if you do click that, this very first page will actually stop you and decline you. So you won't get through to the end of the application and get a decline. But it's just there so that we can give that reminder of like, hey, that's just not a fit for us if you're wondering. So same thing with warehouse. That's not in our appetite either. So this is something that's super important to note. Does the applicant operate multiple locations? So currently our platform is set up to just quote single locations. So anything with multiple locations, we can absolutely do. Whenever you create a quote in the platform, there's a question that says, is this for a single location, 2 to 5 locations, or above 6 locations? If it's above 6 locations, it's done on a submission basis. It's going to go to one of our amazing underwriters. They're going to work on that with you. All the steps are in that. And I'm actually going to back out here really quick and show it to you. But essentially, if you do the start a new quote, here's the 6 or more locations option. It's going to take you to this page here, which is our multi-location submission link. We do not require accords, but I always joke that underwriters love information, okay? So if you've got them, send them. The more information, the better, right, Adrian? And other than that, we also have a template here, kind of incognito, but if you click this here button, there's an SOV for you. So if you already have your own, great. If it's already filled out, send that over to us if you need one that you can use our link there.
Hey, Naomi.
Yeah.
I know that you're gonna cover this here soon, but it's definitely worth mentioning a few times. We had a question come to us. What is the food percentage to qualify as a restaurant? I have lots of 50-50 taverns.
Okay. So great question. I'm going to go back to this screen here. So we can consider up to 65% in liquor sales. Um, what keeps us from going into that bar and tavern space is we still don't want anything that's serving alcohol between the hours of 12 and 5 a.m. So if they're open until 2 a.m., the kitchen closes at 10, that's just not a fit for us. If they're serving food, it's truly a restaurant, but they've got those higher alcohol sales, that's something we can consider, especially in that fine dining space. I mean, you've got people spending $200 on a bottle of wine and they're not, ordering 16 $4 margaritas, right? So there's a difference there. That's kind of how we look at that. But we can consider up to 65%. And then we have some other guidelines which is right here actually that I'm going to go over that kind of gives you a clue on what we're really trying to stay away from here. So door bouncers, we can't do dance floors. Again, if it's turning into a nightclub, anything like that, sorry guys, but no axe throwing. We just want to stay away from all that. So again, anything that's going to be that real bar kind of atmosphere is just not for us. However, if it's a bar and grill, we love those. We don't have a problem if the word bar is in the name. We just want to determine that it's not truly closing the kitchen and, serving alcohol till 2 a.m., things like that. So any of these check boxes here, that's kind of giving you the idea of what we really can't do. No flaming food or beverages. We recently had, some a patron's hair catch on fire on one of our other accounts. Not a good day, so we had to draw a line there. Um, is there a playground on premises? We can do it. There's just some questions here. So the system's very intuitive, y'all. If you hit yes, it's going to spit out some more questions here, and you're just confirming that, again, there's no axe throwing for children, things like that. Okay, so we can do those just regular kind of playground risks. Um, Again, we're asking that question, do they operate a food truck? Food trucks are not in our appetite. If a brick and mortar restaurant owns a food truck, we can still write the BOP, but that food truck needs to be totally insured separately on a commercial auto policy. We can't do the HNOA on it, but we can do the BOP. So just some things to note there. Um, is the establishment responsible for the parking lot? Another question, doesn't make it ineligible, but we might have some more questions on that. Are there any of the following cooking types performed? These are all eligible, but what we want to know is, are those, different appliances being serviced properly up to the NFPA guidelines? So Morgan has created this lovely page. Y'all, this is on your dashboard. It's agency resources. You can go through it when you've got some time. This has our appetite guide, and it has our NFPA cheat sheet, which I have opened up right here. So if a restaurant's doing solid fuel cooking, wok, charbroiling, we just need to make sure that it's being serviced up to the NFPA guidelines. This is something that your restaurant owners should know, but sometimes when we're quoting, y'all, we don't have all the information, right? So if you don't have all the information, make sure you verify that with your client that they're in fact, getting it serviced monthly if they've got those, solid fuel appliances. But we created this cheat sheet here for you to make sure that you don't get kicked out of the quote during that process while you're verifying that information. Are they remodeling or renovating? We love new ventures, you guys. We want to see that they have 3 years of management experience. The reason I say that is that obviously a lot of times a new venture, new restaurant, they're opening and they're totally renovating a space to make it perfect for their restaurant. So what we want to see is most like all the other carriers, if there's structural renovations, demolition going on, we don't want to be a part of that. But if it's going to take a couple months for them to do their remodeling and painting and things like that, more lighter remodel work, we're fine with that. We want to see that the work is completed in a maximum of 90 days. So if that build out's going to be longer than that, just come to us when it gets closer to being more completed. And once it's within that 90-day mark, we can go ahead and get it written. All right. Again, hours of operation, we touched on that a little bit. So if they're serving alcohol between 12 and 5 a.m., that's not a fit for us. If they're open until 1 a.m. and they're still serving food, the system is going to kick you out and decline. You can reach out to underwriting and see if we can make an exception on it. Again, we just have to make sure that that's truly what's going on, that it is a restaurant and that it's not turning into that kind of bar service where there's no food and just alcohol being served. So again, we can do new ventures. So if they're a new venture, we can do it. Just want to see 3 years of management experience. All right, liability coverage. This is a big section here. We're going to touch on a lot. Annual sales. We actually have a revenue cap of 10 million per location, which I think is pretty fantastic. So that gives you a lot of opportunity, even in some of those larger restaurants, right? So we can do up to 10 million. If you ever have a risk that's like right on the edge of 10 million, maybe a little higher, again, the system's going to kick you out. Let us know if we could reconsider it. We will definitely try. For our general liability limits, we only offer the 1-2 limits at this time. In all of the states that we're writing our excess product, we offer additional coverage on our excess product. So we can do up to 3 million on our excess as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about the excess and how to submit that at the end. But the reason I bring that up now is that in California, if we have any California agents here, we are still offering the 4 million limits because our excess product is still not live in the state of California because we are still waiting on the DOI. Huge shocker there, I know. But any other states, we do the 1-2 million underlying, and we'll write that additional liability on our excess product. We get this question a lot. Does the establishment provide off-premises catering? We love carriers. Rainbow loves caterers, so we can do that. We just want to know the percentage. We can actually do 100% catering, so if they're using a ghost kitchen, that's still something we can consider. So keep us in mind for those caterers. Does the establishment serve alcohol? So we already touched on this. You guys, we can consider up to 65%. Anything over 50% is going to trigger a referral because our underwriters have to do their due diligence and make sure that we have all of those numbers and figures accurate and that it's still something that we can look at, but we can absolutely consider it. We can do liquor liability. This is huge. You guys, this market, not just in California, but I talk to agents every day from all over the place, Texas. A lot of states right now it's becoming more and more difficult to provide that liquor liability coverage. We're still offering up to 1 million in limits on our BOP, and then we can endorse an additional 1 million on our excess product. So you can really provide very comprehensive coverage. A lot of the larger carriers are either not offering the liquor liability anymore or they're putting it at a sublimit that's pretty low. So we're very proud to be able to offer some additional coverage for your clients. Huge value and selling point, right, for your clients to say, hey, this is a really comprehensive product that's going to help you if you ever get in trouble. Hired non-owned auto, we can actually include this. HOA, we can do it. However, if this particular owner is doing self-delivery, we cannot offer the HOA. It's simply because we don't have a commercial auto product, y'all, so we can't offer that type of coverage. If they are utilizing Uber Eats, DoorDash, and not doing self-delivery, we can do the HOA. No problem. That puts all the liability on DoorDash, right? So we don't mind it. Robotic delivery, Rainbow doesn't support the robots. We're just not there yet. We don't trust it. So robotic delivery puts us out for the HOA as well. But again, we can do the BOP, just not the HOA. So I always like to make that clarification. All right. So you guys, I just got a question about this in my email. I've got somebody who's submitting a 30 location risk to us saying, oh, you guys probably can't do it because they're all frame. We absolutely are writing frame buildings in all states. Again, we want to know if those renovations have been done. When was the roof last replaced? We want to see that the roof's been replaced within the last 20 years. And we want to see that the plumbing and electrical has been updated in the last 25. Please work with the underwriting team on that if you're not sure, or say, maybe there's a partial roof replacement. Maybe the roof is a metal roof or a tile roof and they last a lot longer than 20 years. So definitely keep us updated on that. We also do not actually have a year limit on our buildings. So we get that question quite a bit. Hey, what's the limit on the age of the building? Again, we just want to see that those updates and renovations have been done, preferably on those older buildings all the way, kind of total gut rehabs. If that's happened, awesome. We can't do historical buildings because, again, it's very complex to calculate the replacement costs on those historical buildings. But as far as the older buildings, we can look at it. So let us know if you think it's in great shape and it's something that we can consider. Again, is there a sprinkler system? We can do it without the sprinkler, but it's going to give your client a better rate if they do have those sprinklers. So definitely ask and make sure that they are functioning and fully operational. Okay, y'all. That's a big piece of it too in terms of a claim. We get this question all the time. Hey, can you do building coverage? There's some carriers out there right now who are like, hey, we'll do the BPP, but we won't insure the building even if the owner owns the space. Absolutely, we'll do the building coverage. So our TIV is 5 million. So if your building coverage and your BPP exceeds 5 million, work with underwriting on that, but pretty much 5 million is that cap per location for our TIV, but we can absolutely do the building coverage. We get the habitational question a lot. Well, what about if there's apartments attached to it? Um, the answer is if there's one apartment and the owner lives in it or the general manager, we can consider it. If the restaurant owner owns the building and there's 4 apartments attached to it, we can't cover those, guys. We just don't have the coverage for those apartment complexes. But if someone's leasing a space and they don't own those apartments, we can still do that risk. We want to see that there's a firewall between, but hey, we can absolutely still consider it when they're leasing the space and they don't have any interest in those apartments. TIB, always break that out from the BPP. Technically, it would be covered under the BPP, but your rate is going to be better if you break that out into the TIB. So you can use your discretion, but you do get a better rate on that. So I would always schedule that out personally. All of our deductible options here, we go up to 25,000 for the property. That might seem pretty crazy, but if you're in California or some of the other really tough property states right now, deductibles are becoming a huge part of the discussion for sure. So we do up to the 25,000 there. Something to note is that our system actually auto-generates your wind and hail deductible. It doesn't tell you that, but it does. So whenever you come in here and you get to this page, whatever that deductible is defaulted to, whether it be no separate, 1%, 2%, we have to stick with that deductible unless you'd like to lower it. So what I mean by that is if it defaults to 5%, we can't go lower than that. But if it defaults to 2% and you want to change it to 5%, you can always raise that deductible. But whatever the system defaults it to, that's the minimum that we can do. All right. And this is where you get to customize your package for your client. All right. So we have this link that's built right in here to give you the description on what is the difference between our primary and our premier package. Again, super clear, super clean, y'all. You can look at this in front of your client, show them the difference, what's covered. And again, you get to use your discretion on which package fits best for your clients. The other great thing that you can do on this last question is you can customize those limits. So say that you do the primary package, but you want to go in and specifically add certain coverages, you can do that. And then you can also just customize and increase those limits accordingly. So if you hit yes here, it's going to open up all of these lovely options here and show you some of those additional customization options.
Hey,
We also, yeah.
Naomi, real quick, we got a question that I think might be good for Adrian, coming from Reese in the chats. Sorry to interrupt you. Thank you. So crime scores. How sensitive are you to crime scores, Adrian?
That's a great question, actually. So there are certain crime scores that you will get declined on or will get a referral on. These tend to be crimes, every sort of like where you're getting your data from uses whether it's numbers or letters, it kind of varies. Um, the big thing with them is when we can look at them, when we can like take a look at the referral, this is going to be what are their latest hours of operation? Are they open past 10? They open really, really late? That sort of deal. Do they have burglary alarms? What kind? Do they have cameras? What kind? That's the big questions right there. If you have, for us, we have letters. So if you have crime score F and you know, that's probably going to be a hard no. But, crime score D, and you've got, cameras, you've got burglary alarm, you're not open, you close at like 8 or 9, those are going to be a lot more, that's quite honestly probably going to be a straight through, doesn't even need to be looked at us. But if you've only got one of those things, you're open till 10, you close at 10, but you don't have the alarm or the camera, we'll probably take another look. We can get those approved. I've gotten them approved. It varies by the holistic review of the risk. gonna be completely honest. Like it's, is it, this is an old crime score, the area is on the up and up, and this is inaccurate, you can probably get that approved. But it varies. Just if you ever think there's one where you think it's getting declined or referred because for crime score and you don't think it's correct, reach out to us because we understand that crime score is can be pretty nebulous.
Mhm. Thanks, Adrian.
Mhm.
All righty. So in terms of this coverage screen, you guys, real quickly, we do offer cyber. We also offer EPLI. So these are coverages that are so important for your clients. If anything's going to happen, it's more likely going to be one of these things than even over a GL claim, right? So be sure to offer that. We have all kinds of limits there, up to $1 million on the BOP. Same thing with the EPLI. This is huge for restaurant owners. So that's definitely a massive benefit in terms of offering coverage for your clients and giving them a really comprehensive quote. Not wanting to go to the next screen here.
Hey, do you have wage and hour?
No, no, we do not. That's probably the most asked question for the EPLI. So we do have some third-party coverage, but not for wage and hour. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your face told me like maybe you were like. All right. Okay, so this is actually not letting me go to the next page, so that's fun.
We got another one in. Do you have wildfire scores for Colorado? Adrian, you want to?
Yes, we do. We look at wildfire scores across the country, like period. And granted, like certainly southern areas of the country, I'm going to use Michigan off the top of my head. Like wildfire scores there tend to be pretty low, pretty good. But we do use wildfire scores across the country. We're more stringent on it in California for
Yep.
obvious reasons. Um, for obvious reasons. But gotta be honest, we get wildfire score referrals in all the time. If there's a lot of basically area around the building that's like pavement or in there like downtown, like if you're in downtown, I don't know what Denver's wildfire score is, but let's pretend you're in downtown Denver and for some reason got a crazy high wildfire score. You know, we get those referred and approved all the time because, sometimes it's a case where it's at, what's around it means it's not gonna get burnt down.
Right. Totally. Yeah, and our underwriters really work hard for y'all to get those approved if they can. So if they can, you guys, they will. So if there's anything you ever get a decline for whatever reason and you really believe it's a great account and something that we should reconsider, if you get a decline and it hasn't been worked on by an underwriter and it was just a system decline, please reach out to us. Again, if we can reconsider it, we definitely will.
We got a question.
There's one more.
Oh boy.
Protection class. Do they play a role? Yes. Protection class 9 and 10. Hard no. Sorry. If you
Yep.
do have, if it does decline for protection class and you have supplemental information showing that that is the wrong protection class, again, reach out. We understand data sources. We have a great data source. It is 99.99% accurate, but I'm not saying that 0.01% is not there. Like it's there.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Adrian. Okay, so guys, blanket of waiver of some and is free. It's free 99, so just add it. Offer it to everyone. Blanket additional insured. Same thing, guys. So if we always encourage you to just add these, it is no additional cost to your client. That way, if you need to issue any certificates, you don't technically need to notify us and specifically schedule it. You absolutely can, but it will also give you the ability to just get that accord out to your client. We do not issue certs for the agent, so that's something that you'll have to issue on your end. But once you've notified us, you can issue that cert on your own. So please feel free to make sure you get that out to your client as quickly as you need to. So would you like to schedule additional interest, guys? Super straightforward. Anybody that needs to be listed here, you can add there. Discounts. We love discounts. So guys, here's all the options. Do they maintain a public Google business profile? This gives us information, right? It gives us their hours, all the things, and shows that that restaurant owner is visible to the public and has some pretty open business practices. Is the establishment part of a franchise? Guys, we can do franchises all day long. We have lots on the books. We just wrote some more IHOPs. We've been working on a Burger King. We have Carl's Jr.'s on the books. So we actually can be a great fit for those large multi-locations. I just mentioned to you, I was working with an agent who has one that has 30 locations. So again, these are accounts that we can actually do. We love restaurants. We want to be the restaurant insurer. That's why we actually only write restaurants at this time. We're opening up some new products soon, but we will always have very focused markets because we want to be program specialists. We want to be really good at what we do. So we can absolutely do those larger accounts. Additional credits based on certain business practices. This is pretty industry standard here. Read through those, ask your client the questions, get them the best rate possible. There's a lot of restaurant owners that are incredible and work really hard to have a super safe environment for their employees, to have a great culture so their employees like to work there so they don't quit. They've got a low turnover rate, all those things. So ask those questions to your clients. It can make a big difference from the rating standpoint. And then we also have the ability to refer this risk to underwriting just for rates. So if everything looks good, but they had a quote from another carrier and we just weren't quite there, let underwriting know, put in this box, hey guys, I really, 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 really want this risk. How close can we get to this? Here's the number, the magic number. Work your magic. Guys, they will if they can. I love them. They're awesome. They work really hard to get those done for you. So if we can get you that rate that you're looking for, we definitely will.
Do you need loss runs?
We do not need loss runs unless Adrian says we need loss runs. So if the underwriter requests them from you, get them over. We don't require them unless they're requested by the underwriting team.
Yep. Basically, you'll see the referral reason come up. It'll say that this needs to be referred for losses. And if you want to be proactive and send those loss runs into us ahead of time, if it needs to be referred for claims,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset about it. In fact, I'll be pretty happy about it. You'll make my day. But yeah, generally, no.
Yeah, if you've got them, send them for sure. That's always my philosophy. If you've got them, send them, but we don't require it unless we do. So there you go. All right, we have two options for payment, y'all. Pay in full and pay monthly. We do offer a 5% pay in full discount in all the states other than my lovely state of California, because apparently we don't think it's fair to everybody else. I don't know. So pay in full, 5% discount. Guys, that's just money on the table. That's another way to get that rate where you need to get it to. The other thing that we now offer is ACH. So if you leave this box unchecked here, the system will default to card payment. We can absolutely take card, but there is a 2.7% fee that's included. That's just what it costs us to use the card. So we do offer that ACH option. So if you check this box here, when you go forward, it's going to update that rate and it will give you the rate without any additional fees for that automatic debit for the ACH. So again, just some more opportunity to try to get that rate where you need it to be. All right, guys, when you get to this screen and it's green and it's good to go, you don't have to talk to Adrian unless you really want to. Just kidding. Don't talk to Adrian unless you have to. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, reach out to us if you ever need anything. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Adrian, that was to protect you. I didn't want them to think they should just email you all the time if they don't need to. That's all that was.
That's fine.
So anyways, yeah, give our underwriters a break if you don't need to talk to them. However, guys, if you want to refer it just for price, then you will get to talk to them. So just let us know. But genuinely, the reason that I joke about this, all joking aside, this system is so easy to use, y'all. I mean, when I'm not jabbering, you can get done in 10 minutes, right? So you can get in there, get in and out, figure out if we're a good fit, refer it to the team if you need additional pricing consideration. I love our platform. One of the number one feedback we get is it's so easy to use, and I love to hear that. Having been in an agency for 15 years and having my own agency, guys, like it's so nice to have a platform that you can just get in there and figure out if we're the right fit or not and move on if we're not and get it done if we are, right? So we hope that you find this platform super easy to use.
Hey, Naomi,
Great feedback on
before you finish,
Mhm.
do you do rainbow policies include business income?
Yes.
That's what about assault and battery? Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we do include assault and battery. It's actually up to the liability limits unless your liquor sales are over 50%. And then the system will kick out a sub limit for you on that assault and battery. So in the A and B, if you have over 50% alcohol sales, there's a sub limit. Otherwise, it's up to the GL limits. The last thing I want to point out, two things on this page. This is how you request a excess quote. So I talked about this at the beginning. If you would like a quote for our excess product, it's not something you can quote yourself, but you get to submit it to our incredible underwriting team, and they will get it back to you as quickly as they can. Something that I want to note here, we just went over this morning. Whenever you fill this form out, it's actually going to generate an email for you from whatever your default, mailbox is. So for instance, just make sure that once you do that, if I enter the 1 million here, I'll just go ahead and do it really quick. And you hit refer to underwriting. One might think, oh, it's referred to underwriting. However, unless you send this email that just generated, our underwriting team does not get it. So we've had some agents just not realize that that is what's happening. So if any of that doesn't make sense or you have any trouble with it, please let us know. But just be sure that whenever you hit that refer to underwriting button, that you're going into your mail app and making sure that that email gets over to our underwriting team, and they'll get it handled as quickly as they can. Last and certainly not least, Rainbow Rewards. We love rewards and bonuses and discounts and all the things. So if you hit this apply savings button, there's an additional $300 in rate decrease there on the table for you. What we're asking for is these photos listed here. Again, this gives us eyes on the building without needing to do an inspection, and it gives the client a little bit of a discount. So I love that we give an incentive to get those photos into us. They are not required, but there's some additional discounts there for your client as well. This button here on the right is sometimes a little incognito, but you can actually email this quote directly to your client. If they would like, they can go in and actually process the payment themselves. However, if you prefer to do it for the client, you're sitting with them, you can still do that here with this purchase button. So both options are available, but we do get that question sometimes, so you can email that quote directly to the client. Every once in a while, you run into a client who doesn't like to give out their information for their accounts. That's a great opportunity to use this handy dandy share button here. So there you go, y'all. Do we have any more questions before we wrap up? Any that we didn't get to?
Jason, any more questions?
Yeah.
Wait, which one? Just kidding.
Sean from Texas wants to know where you got the name Rainbow from.
Oh, that's a good question. Bobby talked to us about this. I mean, it was through a brand consultant, and they just really loved how unique it was and how different it was. Does anybody else have a different answer? That's what I remember from what Bobby shared, because they had all these different ideas, and Rainbow was the one that stuck out to our founders in being something that was really unique. Does anybody else have anything else?
From Texas, but yes, it's a great answer.
What did you say from Texas? I didn't hear.
Sean from Texas.
Jason making up people.
That's all right, y'all. She beat me today. You didn't ask enough
so
questions. You
bad.
had lots of really good questions.
Oh, you made that up,
I will give the
Jason?
agents that, but yeah.
I had.
We had lots of really great agent questions today, y'all. They were really good. I just was trying to help.
Yeah.
That's all. I was just trying to help.
He's just trying to.
Is Jason really Jason, or did Jason log in as a different Jason to say that he had? Like, now I'm curious.
Reese has an interesting question. What's our favorite restaurant in San Francisco?
Ooh.
You
I
got the
don't know.
wrong people on the call for that. So we've
Oh,
got a
yeah.
whole team of folks out of San Francisco, and you just happen to catch the 6 of us who aren't there.
I know.
Yeah. Although there is a little macaroni joint, I'd have to look up the name, that's downtown San Francisco. That's amazing. It's this cool specialty macaroni place, but I don't remember the name because I don't live there. But I'm not super far from San Francisco, so there you go.
Reese, you're 100%
Restaurant that I
correct. Our
like.
tech crew is all San Francisco based. We should ask them what their favorite place is.
Yeah,
Totally.
reach out to us for sure. And we would be happy to tell you some of that because I tell you, our team, we do have like regular stuff where they'll go out to restaurants. They intentionally try to find restaurants that we insure. So reach out to us and I'd love to put you in touch with them and they can give you a whole list of restaurants they like in the area. They'd love it if you went after them.
Totally. Love it, love it.
When
All
we
right,
get
y'all.
when we get Massachusetts, then I can have a list.
Yeah, totally, Adrian.
Really great questions today, folks. I played around a little bit with some extra ones that we do regularly get in, but Naomi did beat my record time, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, we got lots of really good questions from the agents. We we always have a lot of fun with y'all.
Yeah.
We're really grateful to have you here. Come back next week, and I'll be the one hosting, and you can watch me not beat her score, I'm sure.
I don't know. I mean, again, the score is not just on time. There's many factors.
Yeah,
So.
there's other, I have a list over here of things that I look at, like
Ah,
entertainment,
okay.
funniness,
How much you talk with
sarcasm,
your hands? Does that count? Because I do
yeah,
that.
animation, your
There's a-
tone.
There's a whole oh no, I can't remember the word for it. There's a whole This is why I'm in underwriting. This is why I talk to people via
You're
emails.
muted. What is it? I think she said that, or did you say the answer, Morgan? What was the answer?
Oh, I didn't say anything but criteria.
Yeah.
Thing that you use to, when you're getting your
Scorecard?
review, when you're getting your work review, and they have a form that gets filled out. Man, I can't remember words today.
It's your 90-day review. Is that not?
I don't know.
Termination notice. Is
Performance
that not
review.
everybody
Is
else?
that what it was?
Now you all know. Yeah, we're gonna say performance review. Now you all know why I prefer email rather than
Yeah, don't call Adrian. It's rough.
no, but I have an extension now. All of underwriters extensions now. But if you get me, then you get me floundering because I can't remember a single word.
Nah, you're way better live than you think.
Aw.
All right,
All
well,
right,
that's it.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Have an awesome day, everybody. Thanks for
I'll see you
coming.
next time.
We'll see you in the system.
See you around.